Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we're live.
Here we go again.
Here we are.
Yep. So
You serious today?
I am. I'm. You know, it's funny you joke about me being grumpy, and I'm pretty grumpy today. So let's see how it goes. I'll admit it. This time, I'm
curious if anybody
happy.
notices the different vibe. If you notice, if you're listening to this and Gary feels like he's grumpy, let us know. I'm curious if there is a vibe from the normal grumpy or the extra grumpy.
Yeah, if I'm admitting it, it's pretty bad. But I'm not grumpy because of the episode that we're having this takeaway from. That was fantastic, and it's always great when you don't really. Sometimes we know and have a relationship with people, and sometimes we don't. And it's really great when you don't, and things are really successful. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and let's frame this in because this is really far stretch at this point. This is a recommendation of a recommendation of a recommendation of a recommendation, right?
Yeah.
This all started with Liborio? No,
It all started with Bustamante.
Bustamante, right? Bustamante referred Liborio. Liborio referred
Dedeco.
and Dedeco referred Danny. And then we have a couple more.
Yeah, they're still coming, right? I hope so. I hope this is it's a great group of guys. It really is. They've all come through for us. They all have rich histories together, which I think is what kind of makes it a good dynamic too. It's like if they're recommending them to us and vice versa. I think you already go into it with with a good expectation and excitement.
And let's make this clear for those who don't know, we've never met these guys. This is, we have no associate with them whatsoever.
No, out of the group you just mentioned, no,
not
met any of them.
Yeah,
no.
This is such an interesting journey as all of this is unfolding and these conversations take place. So we hope to continue these conversations and bring you some of those great stories of these individuals in jiu-jitsu. And by the way, if you have anybody that you think would make a great guest, let us know. I mean, drop us a line. I mean, we love great story. We love great conversations. And there is, at this point, thousands and thousands of phenomenal leaders out there in jiu-jitsu community and martial arts community. So all recommendations are welcome.
Yeah, and even if it's somebody outside of the BJJ, feel free to let us know who they are, why you think they'd make a great guest. There's on the website, there's a page for it. So just go therollradio.com and you'll see it and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Let's talk about Roll TV for a little bit, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this. We've been doing this project for a while now, huh?
You've been doing it for a while.
You kind of stuck with me. Yeah.
I've been in and out of it from time to time, but no, you've stuck with it, and now you've got this amazing platform, 600 plus videos, seminars, lessons, some really high level people on there, including yourself, and amazing techniques. I mean, it's really got everything. So I highly recommend it. If people are out there looking for a platform, to supplement their jiu-jitsu education, I don't think you can do much better.
Well, and I think what's cool about it is there's one thing that I don't think we've ever talked about, but obviously it is a subscription service, so there is a monthly fee associated with this to really make the site run and make all of this operational. But also there's a section of lessons which typically has anywhere between 15 to 30 different videos within the lesson, and those lessons are available for purchase too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to subscribe on a monthly basis. If one-time thing is your is a point of focus, then you can take advantage of that too. And recently we just released a couple of them. There's a couple of them. There's a folding pads, knee side smash pads, and there's a sit-up guard. There's a bunch of half guard stuff. So take a look at it, and then obviously if you use Roll Radio as a coupon, you get 30% off. Subscription. So that's that's part of that project. Really supports what we do here and have these conversations with these great individuals. So it's kind of a big circle. Everything is closing in a big circle. So what did we talk about with Danny?
Well, we talked about a lot of stuff, but I think what stuck in your mind was winning and losing, and how I think we focused a little bit too much in life in general, about winning and losing, and what we really take stock in or put stock in. And it seems to be that a lot of times we focus on the negative instead of the positive. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about a BJJ competition. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a round you just had on the mats, or a class, or family life, career. I think that for some reason the negative always has a bigger impact than the positive. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why we're conditioned that way.
I was about to ask you, why do you think that is? Never mind. Forget it. You just ruined the whole thing.
No.
Cut. Start over.
That's all.
And we're alive.
Nope.
Do you think maybe because the positive things are kind of the goals of achievement, meaning I achieved this is a positive, I'm filing it away as done, versus the negative is the obstacle to achieving that goal, and the obstacle always is there. That's why we continue bringing it up.
That's a definite possibility, but I also think that maybe there's embarrassment. Could be a factor. Nobody likes to fail. And I think sometimes we focus so much on the end result that we don't see all the great things that we can take away from it, right?
You mean embarrassment, like I want to justify it? So what didn't go right?
Well, no, embarrassment as in somebody saw me lose. I didn't get the promotion I was looking for. I didn't get the grade I was looking for.
But in that case, wouldn't we want to file that away and forget about it? Why is it stuck so bad?
Because it's embarrassing and it hurts, and it's like that. I think, unfortunately, a lot of times negative emotions stick with you a lot longer and have a deeper impact. And don't ask me why, but I think that they do, in compared to the high points, And again, like I said a few minutes ago, I don't know why we're conditioned to feel that way. I don't know. We've talked about nature and nurture. Is it something that's just your personality, or is it something that, throughout your life experiences that causes you to feel and think that way? I don't know.
How is this playing out in jiu-jitsu for you particularly?
I think when you have, or when I have plateaus, or, I should have been able to handle that. It's, that round, or that, that person, whatever, and things didn't go my way, or that technique used to be simple for me and now I can't get it anymore. I think that eats away at me, but you have to think about it. You have to process it. Otherwise you'll never get through it. And I've become better at that, I think, in a lot of aspects of life, but you have to think about it. You can say, "Oh, I suck," or "It sucks," "They suck," whatever. But if you don't analyze it and work through it and try and learn from it, then I think that you're really it's going to put you in a negative spot, and it's going to carry over, off the mat as well.
Do you think that perhaps, quote unquote, those negative events are being viewed as negative versus, that's kind of obvious, but versus looking at them as a lesson to be learned or room for improvement? I mean, these are big words often used. Don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as an area to improve.
Right.
Spinning in a positive. What's your take on that? Like,
Well, I grew up in a time where you didn't do that. You failed.
Right.
You blew it. You lost.
Right.
Right. And I don't think you have to go to the extreme of, participation trophy or whatever. But I think there's a middle ground there where a parent, a coach, a teacher can say you lost, you failed, you didn't do as well as expected. So, like you said, how do we learn from this? What do we do better next time? Instead of just saying those negative things and leaving it at that. And leaving a kid or even an adult up to figure it out on their own. I think that's what a good coach is for. I think that's what a good teacher is for. A good parent, good parenting skills are for, is okay. Hey, you know, whatever the case may be. Even if you didn't try, what are we going to do to make it better next time? And if you don't put that out there for somebody else, I don't think you're doing them any kind of service.
So do you think that the area of improvement or opportunity to get better, is that a participation trophy in your mind, or is that?
No, I think it's there. I'm a firm believer that nobody gets to where they are in life, positive or negative, without the people around them. I firmly believe that. So if you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, it is your obligation to help people through their struggles. On 100, it just is. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. And I'm not saying that the participant doesn't have a responsibility in it. They do. But if you're going to take on any kind of leadership role, then it's your responsibility too.
Well, I think that there are different functions, right? Like it's a participant has the responsibility of owning the victory or failure.
Yeah.
It is their actions led to the result, but the coach or instructor or a teacher, their guide is to perhaps guide and help to point out the steps necessary to improve that, right? So
either, and that could be as simple as you didn't study enough, or you didn't put in the hard work, or something much more complex to why is this person's mindset the way it is, and how do we figure this out, and how do we
it could be something simple like they didn't show up that day mentally,
for sure.
Whether it's classroom or jiu-jitsu competition, it doesn't matter. Like there's number of cases where phenomenal grapplers don't succeed because their mind was not where it was supposed to be, or the strategic approach to the situation is not what it needs to be. I mean, we all have failed tests in the past because we just were not there. We were prepared. We've done everything we could have done, and yet the result was very, very different. But I think what's really important in this win and failure conversation is that it is still our responsibility, right? And I wrote down when we were talking to Danny about this, he said, it's on you, not on your coaches. They are there to help you, but it's still on you. You need to do the work. You need to own it. You need to acknowledge the fact that you just messed up. You need to acknowledge the fact that you need to do the work. It's still you. Yeah. It's still you. You have tools, so the coach or instructor could be the tool that you should be using.
Right. And
they should be helpful with your journey.
Right.
But you still got to do the work.
Yes, absolutely, you do. But is your function as a leader, as a coach, as that other tool, has to be one of, I think, positivity, and not, what's your favorite saying, unicorn and rainbows, not pie in the sky. You have to be realistic, but you have to figure out with them, and sometimes for them, what path, what direction they need to go in to improve. You can't just say, we're dropping cliches left and right? Do the work, all that stuff. But you have to actually dig and figure these things out, and reflect on them. And I think that when you do that as a coach and as a participant, as a teacher, as a student, you're going to end up in a positive area, and
do you think this negative, maybe negative is not the word I'm looking here, but these losses or lack of winning or these situations where we didn't achieve what we wanted, they are so powerful in our lives, and we think about them often because we learn, quote unquote, from them more. Like, what do they say? You learn from your losses more than from your wins.
Well, if you learn from your losses, I would think that they become fewer and fewer, and your thought process is going to change. That to me is what learning from them is okay, why did I lose? Well, I didn't prepare correctly. That doesn't mean I didn't do the work. I might have been, I just didn't prepare correctly for that particular situation. I thought I was doing everything correctly, but I wasn't. So you have areas of like that where that negativity, really, I just keep going back to that. It has to be reflected upon. It has to be picked apart. And you have to decide what path you're going to take to arrive at the solutions.
Well, and this kind of goes back to the same question that I always ask: Why?
Why?
Yeah, get to the why. Why things happen the way how they did, and once you have the comprehension and the understanding of the situation, I think at that point you can decide whether this is your fault. And let's be honest, there are situations where we do everything perfect, and it's not our fault, and we still didn't exceed the success. We still didn't reach the goal. We still didn't succeed. It sucks. Those probably are the most hurtful, but it is what it is. You've done everything in your power, and then still didn't go the right way.
Right.
The circumstances and sometimes the person we are dealing with, right? Especially in the tournaments situations. Sometimes the perfect match could still not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did some kickboxing, point fighting and stuff a long time ago. I never competed a long time ago.
You were 3?
No, a long time ago. I was still grown. So, I don't compete in jiu-jitsu. And so, that part of my life is been a while ago. So I relate more off the mats or just in class. But you prepare and,
do you think
sometimes people are just better than you?
Do you think we should celebrate the wins more than the losses?
I think that needs to be kept in check too, because then your ego goes the other way, where you're the best and everything you do is golden, and so I think that celebration is good.
I'm not even thinking.
I was just going to say I think celebration is good. I think glorifying could be bad, right?
Yeah.
Because then it takes you in the opposite direction.
I was more thinking in a scenario where you actually achieve your goal. You fail 100 times and you finally achieve your goal. Should you celebrate that, or should you just brush it under the rug and say, okay, off to the next one, boom, and there's another 100 failures. Everything sucks.
I think it depends on your goal. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I achieved this and I'm proud of myself for a certain amount of time, and whatever that might be, while you're in the academy and you walk out the door, that time is over, and then it's time to move on and process different things and set a new goal. If it's you got a great grade, well, guess what? Now the work is going to get harder. That's just what happens, right? If you achieve success in education at a younger age, then the work gets harder. People expect more out of you. So there's a time to celebrate, but I don't think there's a time to glorify your achievements.
I'm thinking,
just sitting there.
I'm staring at you.
This is what happens when I'm really grumpy, right? It gets a little too deep. We're not having any fun.
No, listen. My dad told me a while back when I was a teen, and stuck with my mind. He made an interesting analogy that you should always celebrate, or you should always think about your losses the same way you think about your wins. In a sense of both of them should be treated equally, both of them should be analyzed equally, and you really should understand what happened in each of them, whether you didn't succeed or you succeeded. And, whether it went positive or negative, there's still something to take from it, why it happened that way, how it did. And because just like obviously the losses that's where we improve. But I think the wins, they have a why too. We did something right.
Sure.
We did something damn right. So why don't we think about that for a moment, find what happened, why it happened the way how it, and how come we try to replicate that again? Because we just did it right. Take the principle and apply it somewhere else. And it could be easy way of continuous success, path of success.
Yeah, I think so. You at any time you analyze and are honest about things, I think that you're on a successful path. Success is different to different people.
Yep.
But I think that, you're going to be on the path that you want to be on. instead of that negative one where you're dwelling, right? You can glorify the positives and you can dwell on the negatives. You have to find a balance, and you have to find what works, and you have to find what helps you grow, and what helps, I think, the people around you grow too. So,
yeah, this was deep.
Yep, that's what you get when I'm grumpy.
That's what you get when you...
Little sourpuss over here. But, you know, I don't know if we're wrapping this up, but you said something a couple minutes ago about like your mindset. And we had somebody over a couple months ago, Simone Biles, who like was supposed to be on the top of the world, and she said, I'm not doing it. Right. And it was because she knew herself so well that she said, this isn't going to work for me. I'm done, and she got a lot of praise, and she got a lot of not so constructive criticism as well. And I think those are the, then you got to sit down and you got to take that balance. So when you get the praise in your life for the positive things and you get the criticism for the negative, whether well-deserved or not, you got to make sure that you look at it, figure it out, and then take what you can and use it to your advantage.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.